Well, we've all heard a lot about investment scams in the recent news headlines, but what about tax scams?
Especially during this time of year, scammers are rampant and they're targeting people who are filing their taxes.
That's right. Here to tell us how we can spot a tax scam, 23 ABC financial expert Andy Barkate. And good morning, Andy. Thanks for being here.
Good morning, you two.
Tax scams, and it's not the people out there in the Statue of Liberty costume on the corner.
Not the guys out there trying to get
Okay.
you to file your tax return legitimately.
Okay, very
Like
good.
you mentioned, we've all heard about investment scams out there, the Bernie Madoffs of the world, so everybody's pretty aware of that. But tax scams are apparently on the rise, too. Now, I'm not talking about somebody out there trying to scam the government out of not paying their taxes, the old tax cheats that we've all heard
Okay.
about. This is more about identity theft and phishing. It's all wrapped around that. How would you like to get a letter in the mail after you filed your tax return saying, "I'm sorry, sir, madam, you've already filed"? Well, that happens in a lot of cases. What people will do, or scammers, I should say, is gather your personal data, steal it, and file a tax return for you for purposes of getting that refund. In a lot of cases, you find this out when you file your return legitimately and get that lovely letter in the mail. Now, it's bad enough to pay taxes once, but then again, the IRS says these kind of identity theft cases are one of the more difficult things they deal with.
So if it's so difficult, what are some red flags that we need to look out for?
Okay. First of all, that would be it. If you get anything from the IRS that says you filed more than one tax return, that's a red flag.
Okay.
If you get something from them that says you've included information from an employee that doesn't exist, and also phishing is pretty prevalent too.
Okay.
We've all got these emails. We get emails every day. In a lot of cases, a scammer will put together a legitimate email. It looks like it comes from the IRS. Now, we're all kind of nervous about getting something from the IRS, aren't we?
Sure.
That email does get open, or that letter in the mail doesn't get thrown away. You read it and take action. Well, they're playing on that. They'll send something that looks legitimate, and they'll request personal data or financial data. And a lot of people will do that just to keep the IRS happy, to keep them at bay.
Right, because you want to give them what they're asking for.
Exactly. You don't want them in your business. Well, the scammers know this, and they're playing on it. Now, first of all, the IRS doesn't send out emails for that purpose.
Okay.
But they may send you an email for some sort of correspondence, but they're not going to ask for any personal data or financial data. So if you get something like that, call the IRS.
Well, let's break this down. Is there any real surefire way to be able to spot the fake from the real?
Emails, they're very tough. I mean, I've gotten things from what appeared to be my bank or other people I've corresponded with in the past asking for personal data. And something just clicks in your mind, think, wait a minute, let me check this before I start typing in my bank account numbers, my credit card numbers, or my socials. And then it's been a scam. Well, they're doing the same thing with an email coming from what looks like an IRS website or an IRS email. The logos are the same, the type, the style of the correspondence, and people will take action just to keep the IRS at bay.
Hey, Andy, before we let you go, is there anything that people can do if they have fallen victim of either phishing or giving your personal information out?
Call the IRS. They actually have anti-fraud units set up just to fight this. As I mentioned, this is one of their bigger problems. They're very complicated cases. In a lot of cases, somebody else was given a tax return on your behalf, and now you want yours. Or maybe you're not going to get a tax return, you owe taxes. So it can complicate a part of our lives, which we don't need any more complication in.
Right, absolutely.
No more pages to read through, please.
No kidding.
All right. Thanks, Andy.
Thank you.